What is wholesaling and why should you consider wholesaling? Watch this video to get your questions answered. Real Estate Disruptors. Answer your first question. What is wholesaling? Wholesaling is the art of buying homes at a discounted price. What you're doing is you're looking for distressed sellers that need to sell for cash now. When you're wholesaling, what you're doing is you're actively looking for motivated sellers. You're looking for people that need to sell fast. It's funny, wholesalers are the unsung heroes in a real estate transaction. When you look at it, you've got the distressed seller who has a problem that needs to be solved. And when the wholesaler comes along, they're the ones that helps the homeowner out of their sticky or difficult situation. But who benefits in an actual real estate transaction when a wholesaler is involved? You've got the seller who's got their problem solved. You've got the flipper, the guy that actually buys the property. Who does a flipper employ? They employ contractors. They're helping the local industry, whether it's homes, Home Depot, Lowe's, or whatever. And on top of that, when they're doing a transaction, you got the private money lender or the hard money lender, as well as a title company that's involved in the actual transaction. After that, once they've taken the property down and they're ready to actually put the home on the market, you've got the listing agent, you got the photography services, you got the home warranty companies. Then, when they go under contract, who benefits? You got the buyer's agent, you got the mortgage company, you've got the title company, you got the home inspection company. So along the process, in every real estate transaction, there are a lot of people that benefit along the way. And let's not forget the end product, the happy homeowner who's happy to be in their new home that's been fully renovated. Now, wholesaling in every industry, newspaper, the news, whatever, they're always shown in the light of the ambulance chaser, the vulture, the sneaky snake oil salesperson. But here's the thing. You get to watch HGTV. You get to watch these shows where we're celebrating the flippers. We're glorifying them, which is cool. But none of that happens until A, we find a motivated seller, B, we solve their problems. And after that, who makes money on that transaction? Who gets paid and benefits and wins? I'm not trying to say these are the best people. I'm just saying without the wholesaler, all those other pieces don't happen. So a funny thing happens. What we found is realtors, which I am, tend to dislike wholesalers, which I also am. So why is that? There is this natural conflict between realtors and wholesalers. And it's kind of ironic because when I created Real Estate Disruptors podcast, my goal was to actually marry these two communities because it makes a lot of sense for the two communities to be married and working together, collaborating. But the fact of the matter is there's a lot of tension between the two communities. And one of the reasons why is because the most valuable skill a wholesaler has is finding motivated sellers. How does a realtor get paid? Finding motivated sellers. So that is one of the sources of contention. And I want to emphasize one more time, we talked about the chain of everyone that benefits in a real estate transaction. Finding the deal, sourcing the deal, getting the deal is the single most valuable skill in the entire transaction. And what happens is when you have that skill, you can survive any economy. You can survive a recession. You can survive a good market. Any market you will thrive in. So that is the single most valuable skill. To become a successful investor, most investors actually start off in wholesaling and become buy and hold investors. But some of them actually come from fix and flip world into wholesaling, into buy and hold. Or if they're anything like me, they start on the realtor side and become wholesalers and then buy and hold investors. Now here's the key. Becoming a wholesaler does not create wealth, like I mentioned a moment ago. So what you want to do is you want to take all that active income from wholesaling and use that to buy passive income, to buy rental properties or build businesses. That's how you're going to be able to create wealth. So what you want to do, and this is the hard part, especially if you're following these guys on Instagram and so on, do not spend and splurge all this active income. Use that to create passive income and then live off that passive income. If you can do that, If you can live frugally, you can use that passive income to create massive wealth, and future you will be very grateful for present you. Getting started wholesaling, what you want to do is I want you to spend some time learning, but not too much time learning. I want you to limit how much you actually spend educating about this business, because the difference between the people that are successful in this industry and everybody else is really equivalent to the amount of action you take. There are a lot of people that are really smart. Smart people generally do not succeed in real estate. It's an unfortunate reality. So what I want to make sure you do is spend some time learning, spend some time allotted towards learning, but don't spend all your time learning. Don't spend your time creating websites, LLCs, logos, business cards, right? You gotta talk to people. You gotta find them. There's a whole bunch of different ways to find homeowners, but whatever the way is, pick one and just do it. Yeah, the first time you go fishing, you're not gonna be great. You're not gonna be reeling in the biggest fish. But all we're trying to do is just build some experience, build some know-how. I played a lot of video games growing up, right? You want to get some EXP points. You just want to get experience, and once you get experience, then you can start figuring out what you're doing wrong. But the best way to grow is to screw up, make a mess, get out there. You're gonna say the wrong things. Who cares, right? You're gonna go get a contract that you didn't price it right and you screw up. That's fine. And then the question I always see is, creating an LLC. The most foolish thing you can do, or the most overthought thing, is creating an LLC. Here's the thing. You know what the best insurance is to making sure your car doesn't get stolen? Drive a crappy car. Yeah. That's the best insurance. No one's stealing your crappy car, right? And so when you're creating an LLC, if you're creating an LLC, only do it if you have a lot of assets. Because if you don't have assets, no one's suing you. That's the reality. I get sued all the time, all right? But I get sued because we're doing a lot of transactions. I mean, at the end of the day, we're getting sued much less than 1% of the time. It might be 0.1% of the transactions, right? That's where we're getting sued. And these suits are all suits that we're winning anyway. We don't lose lawsuits. So even when they sue us, we win. So when you're getting an LLC, the only reason to get it is there's two reasons. There's the tax implications and there's the legal protection. But when you're getting started, you don't need any legal protection. The great news is your credit score has absolutely nothing to do with wholesaling or even flipping real estate. Credit scores are important if you're going to be talking to a bank to get a mortgage. It's important if you're trying to get credit cards. So it's nice to have, but it's not important. What happens when you're buying a property, generally if you're getting a loan from a private money lender, hard money lender, or friends and family in the beginning. When you're borrowing in the beginning, when you're getting started, it's how I got started, is you're borrowing from friends and family. Friends and family don't care about your credit. They do care about your credit worthiness as far as growing up. Were you the kid that was the good kid, or were you the kid that would borrow things and never return them, right? So money based off the purchase price. So for example, let's just say hypothetically you got a property that's $100,000 and you have the opportunity to buy it $50,000. A lot, not all, but a lot of hard money lenders will happily lend you $50,000 for that property, because what they hope is that you can't perform, and now they're taking it back at $50,000. So don't worry about your credit, because hard money lenders will actually lend based off the asset, the property that you've acquired or put under contract, versus what your credit situation is. Yeah, absolutely. So when you're getting started, there's a few different things you want to make sure you're doing. Like I said, the first thing is educating, but again, don't spend too much time educating. If you're watching the podcast, that's enough. That's enough information. You don't need any more information. So if you're watching the podcast on YouTube, listening to Spotify, iTunes, That's fine. Or if you're watching someone else's product, that's great too. One of the biggest traps I see all the time is overeducating. I think that's one of the biggest concerns I have with Clubhouse. Clubhouse is really relevant right this instant. And I see that as a massive time suck and an opportunity for you to feel busy. We call it creative avoidance. You feel busy because you're learning, you're getting better. No, you're not. Because you're learning, what does that mean? You're not taking action. You're not doing anything. So I would say educating, but put a cap on the education. Put a limit, maybe 5 hours a week on education, or only educating when you're driving in the car. That's it. Second thing is picking up the phone. You want to hit the phone, or maybe not even hitting the phones. Maybe step 2 is finding sellers, right? Whether it's pulling a pre-foreclosure list, downloading a program, software to pull a list, whatever, and then skip tracing it. When you're pulling a list, finding a list, any list, and starting with that, I think it's great. Skip tracing it. So those are steps 2 and step 3. And step 4 is just talking to sellers. Just talking to them. You don't need to be a master on the phones when you start. You don't. It'd be nice. It's a plus. But when you start, you don't need a perfect script. You don't. You just need to start. You just need to talk to people. Zig Ziglar is someone I looked up to a lot. And what he said was, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. So we feel really good on the phones. We do personally, but we've also been doing it for many, many, many years. But how did we get here? By doing it for many, many, many years. So step 4 is just start talking, calling people, strangers, just talking to them. And then step 5 is just going to the living room, running appointments, and screwing those up. That's the 5 things I would do if I want to get started right now. Got it. So if you're trying to figure out whether you want to diversify or focus, it's a great question, and it's something that it's kind of funny. When I first started, I was in a room full of successful commercial agents, and what they said on the very front, these guys that run it, they said that one of their regrets was going too broad. The riches are in the niches, and the jack of all trades doesn't get paid. So I think there's a lot of wisdom in there. You want to stay focused. Now, there's a great bit of irony because I have lots of different priorities and focuses. So I can be very hypocritical on this point, but I can tell you it took me too long to get here because I was not focused, because I had shiny object syndrome. And here's the unfortunate reality. If you're watching this, you probably also have shiny object syndrome, because an entrepreneur naturally cannot focus. They are always attracted to the next shiny object. I can tell you as a realtor, they sell magic pills all the time. And it's not just the realtors. I just got to experience it the most in my career as a realtor. But you're getting it too. You're getting it. And I am just as guilty in providing this, right? Because we're providing content on TikTok, on Instagram, on Clubhouse, on Facebook, on YouTube, and iTunes. So you're getting hit from all sides. It's hard for you. And it's kind of ironic that I'm the guy that says, turn it off, because I'm the one who created the content. But the reality is, if you want to be successful, you've got to filter out the noise. You got to pick a lane, and you got to go hard at it. And I would also say you don't have to go hard at it forever, right? You can just be really good at it. You can be excellent at it. You can be world-class and renowned for it. And then you can add, you can branch. Like I mentioned, earlier, I know a lot of very successful real estate investors that have multiple ventures. For me, I've got my brokerage, I've got my title company, we've got our education space, we've got affiliate revenue, and YouTube revenue, right? There's all sorts of different revenues coming in, but I was a realtor first for 6 years. Then I added on flipping houses. Then I added the brokerage. Then I added a title company. Then I started wholesaling. Then I had the podcast, right? So, and even then, I wouldn't say I did them all excellently. I would not make that argument at all. I'm just telling you that was my journey. And so you want to stay on one thing, focus on it, pick a lane, and go hard at it for at least 2 years before you look at anything else. So that's it, guys. That's module 1. What is wholesaling? Why should I do it? Hope you guys got a lot of value out of it. Please, if you guys like this, share this. Tell your friend. Tell them where to go. DisruptorsU.com. Link it to the YouTube video. Whatever it is, the more we have in this community, the more we can all grow together. Thank you guys for watching this video.
Disruptors.